Hello friends, welcome back to part 10 in my Tesla earnings forecast video review series. Oh, my pal Loki cannot wait to get involved in this week's episode, or today's episode I should say, of my Tesla earnings forecast video review series. I sent out a thread on Monday with 69 tweets, and here in the 10th video I'll be showing you the 13th tweet from that thread, right? And Loki is not superstitious, so he's not scared of the 13th tweet, which will come... Oh, sorry, it's the 12th tweet. We just looked at number 11. See, even I can get confused with the numbering scheme that I set up for these. Alright, so we just talked about this one in the previous video. Let's talk about Tesla automotive revenue and cost of sales per cash delivery, excluding leased revenue and units sold and regulatory credits. Why on earth would I make a chart with a title that long? What possible benefit is there to exploring the information presented on this chart? Well, I'll tell you. Tesla has a bit of a complicated auto sales business. One of the things that makes it complicated is that not everybody who buys a Tesla is the permanent owner of the vehicle. Some small minority of the people who take delivery of a Tesla are only going to make payments on it for 3 years and then give it back. So typically the lease term is going to be 3 years for a Tesla. And at that point, Tesla has the car back again, and then they sell it used to another buyer. That's a different kind of business, and it has different profitability metrics associated with it, right? So what you might want to do is throw that piece out and look only at what you might call the cash deliveries or the cash sales. That doesn't mean people are going to pay you with cash. It means they're going to be the permanent owner of that vehicle, right? And then another confounding or complicating factor is that Tesla receives some revenue from regulatory credit sales. What's that mean? It means governments around the world have made it a legal requirement that automakers have to sell some minimum amount of electric vehicles, and that if they don't, they owe fines to whatever government has jurisdiction over that area. So some of these governments have established a regulatory credit system whereby companies that have made more than enough electric vehicles can sell their spare or extra electric vehicle credits to companies that did not produce and sell enough electric vehicles to comply with the law. So Tesla would never be subject to those fines because Tesla has never made a car with a tailpipe that pollutes, right? So all of Tesla's vehicles produced and sold can, depending on where they're sold, create electric vehicle credits that Tesla can then sell on to other companies that didn't produce enough electric vehicles. That's a different kind of business, and it comes with almost no cost. And so it kind of messes up your profitability metrics if you're trying to compare it to some other company that doesn't have that kind of income, right? So you may want to throw that factor out too. If you do throw out both of those things, throw out the leased deliveries, throw out the leased cost of sales, throw out the leased revenue, throw out the regulatory credits revenue, if all those things are gone, what you're left with is this chart. Okay. So let's look at the total automotive revenue, that's the red bars here, per vehicle, per cash delivery vehicle, and the total cost of sales per cash delivery. Those are both here. And the line that runs over the top of them is giving you the number of cash deliveries. So I've labeled that units sold excluding leased. That's the line here. Then the kind of hidden bonus thing that's on this chart that isn't labeled is the gross margin per cash delivery. What do I mean when I say it's hidden? I mean the gross margin per cash delivery is the part of the red bar that's above the dark gray bar. So the dark gray bar is giving you the total cost of sales per vehicle delivered, And the entire red bar that's next to it is giving you the total revenue per vehicle. So you need this red bar to be taller than the dark gray bar to have any hope at making any profit at all. And the degree to which the revenue bar is taller than the cost bar, that's how much gross margin there is. So you can very easily scan across and see there were some quarters when gross margin was very low, like in Q1 of 2019. Why was it so low? Because this was the first quarter that Tesla was exporting Model 3s to Europe. So the costs were very high to transport those vehicles from California to Europe through the Panama Canal, right? And there weren't that many of them delivered, so the efficiencies, the economies of scale weren't that great back then. Then in future quarters they got better and you had more gross margin per delivery. They got really good toward the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, when pricing was really high for a lot of Tesla vehicles. Tesla kept raising prices to try to keep the backlog manageable. And then it's gotten smaller here recently. So here's Q1 of 2023. You can see both of these came down by a lot. The revenue and the cost came down quite a bit. And then a little more in Q2 of 2023. So what's going to happen from here? Well, I think the Model 3 mix is going to fall a little. So if you have a situation where fewer Model 3s get sold in Q3 than in Q2, and more Model Y, Model S, and Model X get sold, the revenue per vehicle delivered will go up even if there's been some price cuts, right? And the cost will also go up by some, but maybe not by as much. And that's how you would get gross margin improvement, as we saw in the previous chart. How can that gross margin percentage get better? Well, if the relationship between these things improves, because the revenue bar increases by more than the cost bar increases by, then your gross margin percentage will also improve as a result of that, even at lower deliveries. And then we should see record deliveries in Q4, Loki wants to emphasize. And even better revenue per delivery, even if the cost of sales per delivery goes up slightly. That's what's in my forecast for Q3 and Q4. We'll see how I do. Loki, what is going on, buddy? You okay? He hears noises outside. He's fine. He's doing his job, being a guard dog, protecting our house. And, that's the punctuation mark on the end of this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, click the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, why not go ahead and subscribe? You can do that on YouTube or on Patreon or on X. And a special thank you to everyone who supports me, especially my executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com. And Loki and I will see you in the next one.